Thousands of years ago, 80% of Ireland was covered with trees. Today, that number is just 11%, a third of the European average. As we face the climate crisis, trees play a vital role in pulling carbon from the air and storing it, acting as carbon sinks. 3 years ago, motivated by her deep concern over climate change, Dublin-based writer Catherine Cleary decided to buy land to grow a forest.
I remember reading we had 12 years to keep the global temperature under 1.5 degrees, that safe threshold where we can be assured that this planet will remain habitable. Since then, I really wanted to put my time and energy into doing whatever I could, whatever I had the resources to do, whether it was writing about things or campaigning or just trying to be a voice.
To plant trees, of course, you need land. Catherine and her husband bought 40 acres of farmland here in Roscommon. Last spring, with the help of contractors, they planted 27 acres of it with native trees.
This is a downy birch. We planted it in April. I planted it myself in pretty wet ground back in April.
Now, what size was it in April?
It was probably just slightly under hip height.
Amazing, yeah, shot up. How many trees in total?
24,000 trees.
My lord.
Yeah.
This year, the Irish government launched a forestry programme to incentivise landowners and farmers to plant more trees. Catherine successfully applied, and it entitled her to an establishment grant and gives her an annual payment. Catherine now sees herself as part of an emerging community of forest farmers.
I said to somebody recently, I'm kind of a forest midwife. I'm opening up some space for nature to do what nature would do if we weren't here.
While Catherine has no plans to relocate from Dublin to Roscommon at the moment, her growing forest has become a weekend retreat for her and her family.
We spent a lot of time here working, planting the trees, trampling the rushes and grass around them during the summer. It does my heart good to be here. I love being here by myself and just hearing the birds. Calms my climate anxiety in some ways.
Not only will the forest be a haven for Catherine and her family, but in the future, she intends to open it up for others to enjoy.
We really want to share this. We really want to make this a learning and teaching resource for people, and because it's not ours, we don't feel like we own this. We're just stewards of it for the moment.
Take me forward 20 years from now. What will this look like?
It will be a woodland, but also we want to try something called continuous cover forestry, which is, it's well established across Europe, this method.
Continuous cover forestry is a more recent approach to forestry management in Ireland. Individual trees, or a group of them, are selected and cut for timber, but at all times the forest retains a canopy.
The idea of coming in here when these trees are, timber size and taking out specific trees with definite purposes in mind, I'm really interested to see how that model works.
It will take a good few years of growth before Catherine has to actively manage her forest. But to find out more about what's involved in continuous cover forestry, she travelled with me to Kinnegad in Westmeath to meet forester Olive Levy. Olive manages a 49-acre woodland that her father Dermot planted 20 years ago.
2/3 of it is planted in Norway spruce, and then we have about 6 hectares of sycamore, and then the rest is ash, beech, a little bit of birch. So they're the main species.
And it's your wood, but originally was yours.
That's right, yeah.
You planted this. At the
Yeah.
time, what were the options for you? Because you have a dairy farm, don't you?
That's right, yeah. I decided, there were so many hills and hollows in this part of it that why not plant trees? And, it's something that would be there for the future.
When the annual premiums she received came to an end, Olive wanted to generate an income from the forest. Rather than wait for it to mature and then clear fell it, cut down all the trees in one go, Olive has opted for the continuous cover approach. She harvests trees over time and sells them on for timber and firewood.
It really appealed to me, not just for having a regular source of income that I can dip in and out of, but the permanency of the place, the biodiversity. There's incredible habitat here.
To find out more, we ventured further into the Norway spruce section. One of Olive's first tasks was to create access routes so commercial operators were able to thin the conifers. So Olive, we've come from the dark into the light. Amazing contrasts.
Yeah, so this is part of the kind of the first thinning operation is where we open up, they're called racks, but they're basically just lines so the machine can come down.
So this is the commercial end where the
This
machine
is
comes
the
in and
commercial
harvests.
machine comes in, harvest, and then as you can see, once it's been opened up, now we've got light.
Interested to see what happens when you bring light into this close planted forest.
This was thinned 2 years ago, so this is the effect. And in the summer, you're waist-high vegetation along these open areas.
So you see little tiny oaks.
So this was a massive surprise. So once we did the thinning and the light came in, I've started finding little oaks
One
around.
over there, yeah.
There's one over there. Oh, they're just springing up everywhere.
With the future in mind and to try to increase biodiversity, Olive also directly planted other tree species, including conifers.
It's going to be my lifetime that it's in this transformation period, and then it'll be the next generation that hopefully you'll get that natural regeneration.
When it comes to thinning the broadleaf deciduous trees, such as the non-native sycamore, Olive's forestry consultant, Manus Crowley, explained how trees are carefully selected and marked for cutting.
These are obviously all planted at a particular arrangement. They would have been all 2 metres by 1.5 metres. In order to drive the trees tall and straight, they have to be thinned. We try to remove large, poor quality trees out of the wood, or what we consider the biggest, baddest trees. So what I do is I look right up into the crown of the trees, and we see how the trees are interacting with each other and heavily impacting other trees. So by removing this tree, it just releases a whole circle of trees around it.
I suppose we're asking a lot of these trees and forests in general. We want them to sequester carbon, we want them to address the biodiversity crisis and also provide an income.
The whole point of continuous cover forestry is about retaining a forest permanently in situ. We're keeping the habitat in place for the various biodiversity elements. We're also protecting soils and water, and we're also growing timber. So all these functions are happening in the one place.
Catherine, you've been here for a couple of hours. What have you learned from here?
It's been really lovely to come to a place like this, listen to the birds and see that there's a future where humans can thrive and ecosystem can thrive as well. I think that's what I've learned today, and it's been really, really fascinating.